Why don't you say the N word?
Oh God.
Wait.
You were gonna hit me with that one.
No, I do. I've been saving that one for a while.
You've been wanting to hit me with that one.
Hold on. How can you talk about it? Because I want to have a conversation.
Why don't I
because
say
have
that?
the same struggle.
Why don't I use the N word?
Yes.
I just
I have
don't.
the same struggle. So you just don't like it. Doesn't come out of you normally. It's just not something.
Yeah,
that's
not,
the same way.
It's not part of my vocab, and it's not. And
Yeah.
and there there you go, going back to catching yourself.
Right.
It's not. It was never part of my. When was the first time
Heard it.
I heard it being used in context that I went, what is it? What does that mean? It was, I guess, it was in the late '80s. Late, like I would say 85, 86, mid '80s, with certain
Rap songs?
like rap songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time, because that word wasn't really used. I mean, I went to an all like almost all Latino
Right.
school, and people didn't use it back then.
Interesting.
Back then, I went to Roberto Clemente, and people didn't use it. And then I went to Franklin Learning Center, which was very like a cosmopolitan type school, very multicultural.
Yeah.
And I was around a lot of artsy type kids.
Okay.
They were the kids hanging out on South Street. It was like the black kids that skateboarded, the white kids that wanted to be Prince.
Right. Yeah.
Those are the
That's your crew.
which you would say
White.
it should be the other way around.
Well, I'm not saying shouldn't or shouldn't be. That's just white stuff.
Okay, but
You know what I mean?
I wasn't in that type of atmosphere.
Right.
I didn't go to a homogeneous type of atmosphere.
Okay.
I actually, two of my best friends are white. The other three best friends are Colombian. Then another one was Chileno. Two or three of them were African American. You get it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot like like how Bodine is, right?
Right. Yeah.
At that time, kids weren't really coming out of the closet, even though we knew some kids were gay.
Right.
But kids weren't just coming out. It's not like it is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
It's okay, and there's not a lot of pressure.
Right.
You got pressure, but not the pressure that people felt back then.
Yeah.
So, but I was around a lot of eclectic kids.
Okay.
I mean, one kid, white, looked like Prince, and the other kid was a black kid with that skateboarded.
Yeah.
So, then a Colombian kid that was a metalhead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So
That is unique.
those words weren't. They were, a lot of those kids were kids that felt, I guess, bullied. I mean, I got bullied. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I was getting chased home by Puerto Rican kids. My friend Mark has talked about getting beat up by white kids in his neighborhood.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the black kids were kids that were not. They lived in the hood, but they weren't like hood kids that.
Right.
They were everybody was trying to do the right thing in their own way, and they were very different than where they came from.
Yeah.
At least the norm or the average. So I never.
So that was never like a common word.
No, it wasn't a common
So
word.
do you
and I
think-
came from a society that didn't use words
Right,
like that.
exactly. So imagine. So that's so interesting, because the reason I don't say it is just because I don't feel right saying it.
Like the N word. I heard the spick first.
Yeah.
Because I was
You can't
called.
say that in front of me, Dos. I'm sorry.
I
You're
can't?
getting canceled.
Okay.
I feel offended.
Listen, let me tell you this story. And I might have said this story before in my narrative as a teacher, but my first serious girlfriend was a white girl. She was Italian. She lived in Germantown. Her family was, you could tell when you walked in their house, they were, below the poverty line, but they were racist as a mug, right? And the first time the brothers met me, they were like, "Yo, you spick, you this, you that," right? And I'm like, I'm one of those types that I don't get mad at stuff like that. When somebody's being racial with me, I don't get mad. I just get even in my own way.
How do you get
And I think it's funny.
Yeah, how do you get even?
So I was like, and I turned around and I was like, you got it all wrong, bro. If you're gonna be racist towards me, you gotta use the right verbiage, bro.
Yeah, I'm not Hispanic.
I'm not Hispanic. So you can't call me spick, man. You gotta come correct. I was like, why don't you ask your sister what I really am? So when he found out that I was African,
that's good.
When he found out I was African, then all of a sudden when I called the house, N-word this, N-word that, and I'm like, yeah, this N is, with your sister.
Yeah.
This N is with your sister.
Yeah.
That's some messed up stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm ruining your family.
Yeah. The purity of the Italian race.
The purity of the Italian race. And they're Sicilian. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's close to Africa as you can get, right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
But I never thought like that, and I still don't. And I'm not.
So I wanted to ask you like now because like because of rap, that's so interesting that you kind of grew up like when rap music wasn't like it is now, which is the number one genre, right? So now it's the number one genre. Yeah. It's the coolest and most popular music. Yeah. And the rappers are using that word. So now, you said your school, there was a lot of like, it was kind of mixed. Mm-hmm. But even when I was growing up, you go to like Lehigh in third, it's all Puerto Ricans. They all say it because that's what's cool. Yeah. So it's interesting that I guess you missed that area.
No, not really.
You did.
Nah, because then later on, as I got into more of certain cultures, right?
Right.
Like hip hop culture changes,
right?
Because I'm listening to Run DMC in 1986, right. And they're not using the N word.
Interesting.
The Beastie Boys are not using the N word.
Right. Well, they're white.
Cool J is not using the N word.
Right. Yeah.
Kool Moe Dee is not using the N word.
Yeah. So I wonder. That's so interesting. Now that's something I want to.
EPMD is. I don't even think EPMD was using the N word.
So I want to look into.
But it was the next generation.
So which generation?
With the gangster rap.
Oh.
With 1990, 91. Like NWA and you're getting and you watch the movie.
Yeah.
Once you get into that era, but by that time I'm already 20 years old.
But that's what I'm saying.
21 years old.
But that's what I'm saying. You didn't really like grow up like it wasn't.
But listen, but that was not part of the vocab. My vocab, never, ever. But it was around me. Even my Hispanic friends were using it.
Right, exactly.
And it just wasn't, man. I'm not saying I never used it. That's not what I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
Okay? No. It's no. I'm talking about in the context of no. And look, I'm being real.
Yeah.
In context of music.
Yeah.
And things like that.
I feel like most people.
You know what I mean?
They want to front, but most people are gonna sing along to a song in their car or something.
And that doesn't mean I haven't been called that in a good way. I've been called that in a good way. What's up, man? I've been called that.
Oh,
and I'm celebrating. I'm like, yo, what's up? Because I feel like, because I know culturally that word means something positive to certain people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's just interesting though, like of the people who aren't like who maybe don't look or aren't strictly black that say it gets so muddy. Because did you see the controversy with Jane the Virgin?
No.
The actress that plays Jane the Virgin? She says.
Who is that?
Do you know the show Jane the Virgin?
No.
It's a popular show.
I'm old, bro.
I feel like you know about this show, but regardless, it's a popular. It's supposed to be like an American satire of a telenovela.
On what channel?
It's on Netflix. It's usually
I've never seen it. No,
but in the CW, whatever. It's a really popular show, but it's mostly, it's like a satire of a telenovela, pretty much, but with American sensibilities, whatever.
Okay.
So the main actress is Puerto Rican, I think, or Hispanic in some way, and she says the N-word. Not on the show, just she's been caught saying it, and then just like. That happened like as recently it's like a couple of months ago, and it started this debate of like, can Hispanics say the N-word, can Latinos say the N-word, and then you start looking at Jennifer Lopez and Cardi B, and it's just that's one of the most muddy things that could be.
Yeah,
because like the white people,
I don't even want to be part of that conversation.
Why?
Because I don't.
Well, I guess because you're not Hispanic. I am, so that's why I find it interesting.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's either part of your vote. All right, listen. This is what I mean. Like, it doesn't matter. The mud doesn't matter.
Right.
I think that's just cheap talk in a vacuum.
Okay.
It's cheap talk in a vacuum.
Right.
And what I mean by that is this, right? Does it really matter? Does it really matter? That word, does it really matter? If it
depending on who it comes from,
positive or negative, does it really matter? Like I've told you, I've been called that. You know, like when
Right.
somebody's like, "Yo, what's up, man?" And I'm like, I've accepted that as acceptance as a younger person.
Yeah.
Now somebody says that to me, I'm like, "Yo, bro, chill." And it's not because I think the word is wrong or right, or it's showing me acceptance or being racist towards me. It just doesn't cut me. It doesn't cut me. I know the history.
Right.
I've studied the history.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about, American history.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've studied my own history, which is, full of slavery and people really beating down on my people all the way until 1975. My country didn't become independent from Portugal until 1975. 1975.
That's-
I was
yeah.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
Right? 1776, 1975. That's a long time
Yeah.
in between, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that word does not matter. And it doesn't matter because it doesn't cut me like a knife, because it's not going
Right.
to get in my way.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
word is not going to get in my way,
Yeah.
either negatively or positively. Now, do I accept it around me? No, because I have kids who say it at school. I've heard Albanian kids use it around me.
Yeah.
I've heard Puerto Rican kids use it around me.
No, the Albanian one is crazy because they all look so white.
I've heard African American kids
Yeah,
use it around.
yeah.
I've even heard Asian kids use it around
Yeah.
me. And guess what? None of those people were using it in a negative way,
Probably not. Yeah.
because they were just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I mean by that is if somebody says it around me, I'm like, yo, time and place. This is not the time nor the place.
Right.
This is my job. This is a space that word doesn't exist.
So okay. So at this point, you kind of when you
If
say
I
doesn't
hear it
matter,
on the street from a random person, I
Whatever.
don't care.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And I think we are whatever we give power to.
Bars.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right.
If
You're
I
right.
give if I give power to somebody who's a bigot, that bigot is not going to, unless it's at my job. If it's my boss, that's something totally
That's
different.
crazy.
But if it's just some random racist guy on the
Yeah,
street
yeah.
saying dumb shit, I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, like I don't need you in my life. Like my wife says, does he or she put food on the table for you or
Right.
what? Doesn't affect my life. Now,
Yeah.
does it affect other people's lives? Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's used with power. But if it's some random dumbass
Yeah.
dude on the nah, man, like I'm not worried about that.
Right.
I'm not
And
gonna
that's
give
where
that
the-
person
and-
power.
And that's where the boss things come. That's where the difference is. One has direct and it has power
Mm-hmm.
to. There's an actual effect to that word when it's coming from somebody who has that power.
Who matters.
Who matters,
Exactly.
yeah, versus
who
like a
uses
random
the
person.
power to
Yeah.
who uses that to justify, like divvying power
Yeah.
or
Right.
stopping people from advancing.
So
That's
it's
different.
more.
That's
so,
a deeper. That's a deeper. When it gets
Yeah.
to that deep sense, like I'm more worried about institutionalized racism
Yeah,
than I
that's
am
the big. Yeah, that's
than
the
I
big
am
one.
about somebody calling me the N word. Come on,
Yeah.
man. Like you call
Yeah.
me the N word, okay. But if
Yeah.
it's institutionalized and it's not spoken, I actually rather hear it
Yeah.
to know exactly what's on somebody's mind than someone that doesn't bring it onto the table,
But
then
it's-
makes decisions to
Yeah,
manipulate.
right.
You get it?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I see what
so-
you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but you knew what you want to be specifically, and that's why you're a teacher. You want to be specifically. Oh, when you said that word doesn't matter. No, I know what you're saying, but the
Yeah.
phrasing is obviously meant to be provocative. But you explain it makes sense.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
when you first said it, I was like, oh, I want to hear what he's explaining.
No, but what I mean about it doesn't matter also is it doesn't matter to me. It's not
Right.
it's not part of my
Yeah.
entity.
Yeah.
I don't think of myself that way.